What's up everybody, Jeff here, and right now we are only a couple of weeks away from GenCon, which is a huge miniature wargaming convention that happens in Indianapolis every year around this time of year. And it's super exciting because GenCon is a time where a lot of companies like to announce new stuff, show some previews of upcoming releases, and all kinds of good stuff. And I'm really excited because this year I'm actually going to be attending GenCon, so I'm going to be able to check out all that stuff in person. So let's talk a little bit about what we can expect to see from Weird coming up at the show in GenCon. First of all, we know that there's a couple of things coming down the road that have already been announced. So of course we have the Hexpos and the Yaksha, which we've known about for a couple of years now. Interestingly, some of the stuff that's coming out for the other side has actually been listed on a couple of websites recently, and they indicate that there's going to be an October release. Now in the past, things that have come out in October have actually been pre-released at GenCon. So there's a good chance, I think, that we'll actually be able to pick up some of the TOS stuff at GenCon. But either way, October's not that far away, so I'm really excited about that. Just as a reminder, we have the Kimon and the Three Kingdoms coming out for the TOS, and it looks like the Kimon are going to be the first ones released. So we're looking at the starter box, the Tatarigami, which is the Titan for the Kimon, the Nyan unit box, which according to From Shadows is a little Oni that looks like this. And we've also gotten a look at the Icon of the First World, which is the new adjunct that's going to be coming out for the Malifaux side factions. But no word on a pre-order on those yet. As far as the Three Kingdoms, the only thing we have for Earthside so far is the John Watson box, and of course the Hexpos. Presumably we'll be getting a wider release for the Three Kingdoms within a few months after. Now, going back to Malifaux, we've seen a couple of models that look like they're going to be included in the starter boxes for both the Guild and the Rezzers, who are the last two that still need to get a starter box. So far, we've seen Commander Burra and the Vanguard keyword, as well as Batch and Amelie. I don't know if that's a real name, and I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but you get the idea. And they have the fungal keyword, which will probably be the Rezzer starter box. And on top of all that, we recently got a look at the Ferryman and Carrie Zotico, who are probably resurrectionists, maybe, but probably also aren't for the fungal keyword. Now, in the past couple of weeks, as we've gotten a look at some of these different things, I've actually been putting out shorts on the YouTube channel to kind of explain any of the background and the lore that we already know about the characters that have been getting announced. So let me know if you enjoyed those shorts or if you found them helpful, because they're pretty easy to put together, and a lot of people seem to come to the Discord to ask questions about some of the background on things that are getting talked about, and I figure it's probably easier to just put videos up to explain it to everybody. So drop a comment if you'd like to see me keep doing that. Now, we recently got our first look at this year's Nightmare box, which is called Reap and Sow, and this box looks super awesome. It's going to be an official proxy for the Jedza crew, and it's got this whole ghost theme to it. The models look really awesome. I especially like the Stalwart Knight. That thing looks super cool. They've really been knocking it out of the park with these Nightmare boxes lately. And on top of that, we got to look at Misconduct, this year's Miss model, which I'm also really fond of. I love the wordplay on the names of the Miss models. So don't forget that when GenCon does come around, Weird usually runs a sale on their web store where you can get access to Nightmare boxes and special editions of a bunch of the different models, as well as old versions and all kinds of cool stuff. And when that goes live, don't forget to use my affiliate link, which is down in the description. All you have to do is access the web store through that link, and then any purchases that you make, whether it's for the GenCon sale or any other time of the year, will actually go towards supporting the channel, and it's at no additional cost to you. Now, that's pretty much it for things that we already know are coming to the games. Of course, there's also going to be the Beyond the Other Side expansion book, which will give us more story and probably new units for the other side. And it'll likely be getting into the war in the Three Kingdoms with the Kimon invasion. On top of that, we can probably expect to see another expansion book for Malifaux. And we've gotten a couple of years of really big releases for Malifaux, so a lot of people are speculating that this expansion book may not have quite as many models in it, because in the last couple of years we've gotten a new faction, we've got titles for every master, and now we got new masters for every faction. So maybe they're going to slow down a little bit this year and just round out some of the factions that need a little bit of help. But either way, we'll be getting a whole bunch of new lore, plus probably some more surprises of new releases that we don't expect or haven't seen anything about yet. So super exciting stuff there. Now at GenCon, I'm actually going to be volunteering with Weird to do a couple of demos and teaching games for the other side and Malifaux. So I'm really excited about that, and if you're going to the con, definitely make sure you let me know. And maybe you can stop by and get a demo from me, and we can flip some cards together. In addition to that, Weird actually has a whole bunch of cool events going on at the show, including tournaments, RPG sessions, and board games. All kinds of cool stuff. They're also having a Bonanza Brawl game on the Sunday, so if you're not familiar with that game type, then check out the link in the description. This is actually an official game type that was designed by the Steam Powered Scoundrels, so shout out to those guys. If you want to check it out, definitely get in there and make sure you sign up for the event on Sunday. Now, a couple of quick things concerning the channel. If you missed the announcement a couple of weeks ago, Defective Dice now has a merch store where you can pick up t-shirts and coffee mugs and bags, all kinds of different stuff showing the logo. So definitely check that out if you want to get some cool merchandise and support the channel in the process. Also, reach out to me if there's a type of merch that you'd like to see, because there's a whole bunch of stuff I can add to that store if there's interest in it. You may have caught the video that I did called The Rule of Cool a couple weeks ago, which goes through all the masters in the Arcanists, and is kind of geared towards new players trying to decide what crew they want to play. Now, in that video, I featured pictures from the community of their crews, because some of the feedback that I've gotten from new players is that they have a hard time getting the look and feel for the different crews just by looking on Weird's website or searching on Google. So that's a really cool way to show off the keywords and the different types of crews that people can play. If you want to be included, it would be super helpful if you could take some pictures of different keywords and send them in so I can include them in the videos to show off to people. You want to organize them by keyword so it's not confusing for new players. And make sure that you include a way that I can give you credit in the video. And if you have like an Instagram or something like that you want folks to follow, I can link that as well. Shoot them over to this email. I'll be doing probably 10 Thunders and Bayou will be the next two. So if you have any of those crews painted up, even if they're not professionally done, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, just painted, then make sure you send them my way within the next couple of weeks. That'd be super awesome. And then the last thing is I just put the finishing touches on the long-awaited Tyrant video. This video goes through all 13 of the Tyrants, explains their background, what they were doing back in the ancient Malifaux days, and what we know about where they are right now and what they've been up to. It's probably the most anticipated video on the channel, so it's really awesome and I'm super proud of how it came together. Right now it's available for patrons on the Patreon. If you get in for $2, you can support the channel. You can take a look at that video early, but otherwise it'll be up on the channel a week from today. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. All right, that's everything I got. I'm super excited for GenCon coming up. Let me know if you're going to be there and what you're excited to see at the show. I'm going to try to sneak in and have a couple of conversations with the weirdos, and maybe I'll put up some videos about that. But let me know if there's anything else that's going to be at the show that you'd like to see, and maybe I'll stop by some other booths and put up some other videos. Now, without further ado, let's do another giveaway. It's been kind of a long time here, and we're way past due, but this time around, we're going to be giving out a Maxine core box. Now, this was kindly sent to me by Weird a while back, and if you want to enter for a chance to win, then post a comment on this video or any video in the next month, and make sure you include a fire emoji. That's all you got to do, is a comment with a fire emoji. It can't just be a fire emoji. In addition, if you're a Patreon backer, you can post a comment with a fire emoji on any of my posts on Patreon in this month, and you can get an additional chance to win. So get in for just a few bucks and you can double your chances. Now, unfortunately, just like last time, this is going to be limited to the lower 48 states of the United States. So apologies to everybody else. I'm looking into some ways that we can include you in some of these giveaways, but so far it hasn't worked out. So make sure you get your comments in and stay tuned for next week because that Tyrant video is going to be awesome. And before we go, huge thanks to the extremely cool kids tier on Patreon, the Steam Powered Scoundrels, Dogmatized, and Biclops Gladiator Games. Thanks for watching.